VHS Thursdays, a series about a 90s kid obsessed with VHS tapes that is living in the 2010s for some reason.
Salutations one and all, and welcome to my brand new mini-series called VHS Thursdays. Now what you will expect from this series is that I will review 2 VHS tapes per episode, and the purpose of this series is to both entertain and to educate aspiring VHS collectors and inform them which tapes should they collect and which ones should they ignore. Now, you might be wondering, what was happening to me? How come I wasn't uploading any videos during the summer? Well, I did work on a couple of unfinished projects, but they're unfinished. And I was on a trip, I was on a vacation, so I was just forgetting about all of that. And I remember the last video that I uploaded was on May 27th, 2016. So it's been quite a while, but I'm back. And the structure of my channel will be, I will upload 2 videos per week, 1 VHS Thursdays episode, and 1 episode either on Sunday or Saturday. It's either a live action short film or animated short film, either or. Now, the reason that I want to do this series is because I've been a big fan of VHS, and I've been collecting them for 6 years. And I got my first VHS tape and VCR on October 31st, 2010, when I was 9 years old. The first one I got was A Bug's Life. The VCR was Panasonic. So, yeah, something like that. And overall, hopefully you'll enjoy this series as much as I do. And, enough chit-chat, let's just get on with the review. So, right here are the first 2 tapes that this series will encounter. 1994's Clerks and 1982's Tron.
We don't have the rabbit yet, but we have the evidence, thanks to Panasonic. And all of these glorious buttons.
Yes, right here you are seeing the 3rd VCR that I've ever bought. The other 2 sadly broke for reasons I do not want to mention. The reason why I am presenting this is because I will review all of my VHS tapes, take an up-close look at them on this good old VCR. Now, without further ado, let's get on to Clerks. Boom, boom, boom. It's a meaningless end to the story. Yes, the one and only Clerks. One of the movies that inspired me to become a filmmaker. Now, this special piece of 90s pop culture, just as Kevin Smith would say, lit a fire under me. And just enlightened me to maybe consider this as the career for the rest of my life. So, before we go in depth with this movie, I just want to take a look at the cover. Now, you'll see all of these smiling faces from Jeff Anderson and Brian O'Halloran, but you also see a serious face from the girl who sucked 37 dicks. Smile right there with the girl who fucked the dead guy. And Kevin Smith right here who plays Silent Bob without his signature cap. Now, I believe these photographs of these 5 weirdos, as I say, really attract the viewer and make the viewer related to these 5 unique people. And I like how colorful the Clerks sign is. It's cutouts from different logos, and tells the viewer that this movie is just a mashup of different styles, of different jokes and puns. It's like a sitcom. We take a look at the back, and you can pause the video so you can read all of this if you have good eyesight. And we see screenshots from the film, like the Eggman. We see Dante again. And look at the comments. It says, "Check out the whales in the year's most outrageous comedy. A lively comic adventure." And one thing I want to show is the View Askew logo. if you can see it right there. That grain, it's a grain overload. Jeez, I haven't seen this much grain since I saw Within the Woods. And I don't even own that movie. I don't own The Evil Dead. Before I say the following for the rest of this review, I just want to say all of the footage that I am presenting here is owned by Miramax Films and Kevin Smith. I do not own any frame of this movie. Just saying. Anyway, I want to list 2 fun facts about this movie before we get on to my favorite scene. And I got these 2 fun facts from the Clerks commentary. Not IMDb, not from other reviews, but from the commentary. Fact number 1. Did you know that Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier, while they were editing the film in RST video, they accidentally saw Kevin Smith's mother naked for some reason? And I wonder if that's a good fun fact for you. And also, Jeff Anderson originally auditioned to play the caged animal masturbator. But, of course, he got the role of Randall. And as they say, the rest is history. As steady as I can, here comes my favorite scene. Oh yeah. Yeah! You know what it is, for all of you who've seen it. We see the drug dealers just holding a suspicious sign. They're pasting it. Ready for the climax of the century. Oh, here it comes. It's coming. And it says, I eat cock. Did you see it? I eat cock. Yummy. Yummy. Now, I decided that I'm going to stack some of my VHS tapes while talking about my personal experience with Clerks. Now, the first time I saw Clerks was back in January of this year. I saw it along with The Evil Dead. Maybe that's why I was talking about Within the Woods earlier. And I was just blown away by it. I never seen anything quite like it. It was so real. Even if it wasn't crappy black and white, it was still real. And it didn't exaggerate everything most of the time. And then that inspired me to see it again and again and again. I saw the Clerks documentary. I'm even going to buy a Clerks poster. I was obsessed. I couldn't get enough of it. And when I saw Clerks 2, I became the ultimate fan of Kevin Smith and Clerks. Let me just stack all these final tapes. This got good. Now, I just want to say the negatives and positives about this movie. You know, give my full-on review about it. Let's just get the negatives out of the way. And for this type of movie, there are barely any. My negatives are the editing and cinematography are a bit rough, but for the $27,500 budget they have, that I can excuse that. The acting could have been a bit more sharper, especially from Jeff Anderson. But, you know, he was a first-timer, so I can excuse him as well. I guess my only gripe with the film is that Dante can complain a bit too much. Like, especially when he could be a bit whiny. Of course, he does redeem himself in the end, but, you know, just kind of tone it down a bit. Just a bit. Now on to the positives, and oh boy, do I have plenty. Clerks is just a social commentary on just middle-class Americans and how they have to be stuck with dead-end jobs. Well, some of them. Whether you work at a convenience store, a fast food restaurant, or even janitor. Yes, janitor. Whatever dead-end job you work at, you can highly relate to these characters and how they feel in their situation. Another positive I have is, of course, the comedy. Each joke is spot on. Each joke just gets the right notes. I can't think of any bad joke that this film offers. It just goes one by one by one. But not every second. There is some dramatic moments in the film, actually. And don't be confused by the black and white and the cheap look. This film is actually pretty smart, even if it has a lot of cussing and drug dealers. This film actually has something to say. It has a message. And this message is, and Dante learns throughout the course of the film, is that you should just appreciate what you have, even if life is low for you, even if you're having struggles. Everyone has a low period in their lives. So that's all I have to say about negatives and positives. Now, my rating system consists of 4 out of 4 jackets, the lowest being don't spend a penny, then up to must watch it once, then up to highly recommend, and the highest rating you can get in this series is must obtain the precious. And for Clerks, I give it not 1, not 2, not 3, but must obtain the precious, the first rating in this series. The reason why is that Clerks is just a glorious piece of pop culture, and astounding success for Kevin Smith, and just one of the greatest 90s movies. And it also inspired a whole new generation of independent filmmakers as well. I hope you enjoyed this part of the review. Now we're going to get on to Tron.